This is a direct message to people from Southwest. They have been calling us Northerners all sort of appalling names, that we are parasites, that we are useless, that they are going to teach us a lesson 2027, that even if Tinubu excelled to become the next president of Nigeria, that they are going to bring somebody from South, not the North. Maybe they have baby mentality. They don't know the North. They don't know our history.
Northern leaders should leave Tinubu alone. Northern leaders should leave Tinubu alone. Since when you guys have been governing this country, Nigeria never moved inch forward. This is a new era.
Northern governors, the northern politicians are not having a meeting on how to harness or how to make their own natural resources a big deal that will generate enough money for them to spend. Instead, they are going against the tax reform because they know that federal allocation will not come as usual.
Welcome back to Local Journal, my people. The West and the North, they don't start the fight on top of this tax reform bill. The West don't tell the North, say, if they no fit accept Tinubu tax reform bill, may they form their own country. Say this country no be for only the North e be. This country belongs to every one of us. Now wetin dem talk be that. Them talk say the North no go fit dey dictate wetin Nigeria go do and wetin Nigeria no go do. Say na dem be the problem wey we get for this country. Say if they no dey for power, the only thing wey dem sabi do na to fight other regions. Dem blast them well, then tell them say nobody dey fear them. Say the West no dey fear them. Dem talk say that tax reform bill, say they must pass am and nothing go happen, and the North no go fit do anything about am. And because of this one, the North too don reply them. Then tell them say the North too no dey fear them. Say anything wey they want, say they go fit give them. Say na them bring Tinubu come power. Say all those noise wey they make for that place, them know say they no get any power at all. Them talk say if not for just the West alone, say Tinubu for no even smell that power at all. Say they know wetin they go through to ensure say they give power to Tinubu. Them talk say for the next election, say they go show am the person where they be. Them talk plenty things for inside the video, and even other people don't come react on top of this matter too. And they talk say all those northern leaders where they always talk wetin people no understand. Say may they go sit down for one side o. Say they no go fit dictate for the whole of Nigeria. Say na them appoint themselves. Say nobody even recognize them. Say if they like, may them talk anything where they want talk. Say Tinubu go pass the tax bill and nothing go happen. Them talk plenty things for inside the video, and I go play the video for una. But before I play the video, if today na be the first time when you visit our channel, make you like, make you share, and make you subscribe to our channel. Make you watch the video.
Instead of the northern politicians to come together and start strategizing of how to use the federal allocation that will be coming in or that has been coming in, they gang up and they have a meeting and say the new tax reform that will only see every state get what they bring to the center as federal allocation is not going to favor the North. The North has enough farmland that can feed Nigeria without stress. There's gold in the North. There's a whole lot of natural resources in the North. The northern governors, the northern politicians are not having a meeting on how to harness or how to make their own natural resources a big deal that will generate enough money for them to spend. Instead, they are going against the tax reform because they know that federal allocation will not come as usual. And I hope this is not about jealousy of the states that will be getting more federal allocation, because you guys are not playing a long-time game. Aside from the political game you guys play, the northern politicians have not been cool with their people. Because I don't understand. The North practically have everything any human being needs to survive on this planet Earth. Why the F are you guys making your people valueless? Because in my own opinion, going against this tax reform policy clearly means that you guys are not ready to grow. That's what it is to me. Instead of people to come together and start strategizing and planning how we're going to use everything we have to grow our agriculture, to make our gold mining a big deal, you're going against the policy. What for? Is it about? It's always about the money. It's not always about the money. For once, you guys should think about the people. The people for once.
Northern leaders should leave Tinubu alone. Northern leaders should leave Tinubu alone. Since when you guys have been governing this country, Nigeria never moved inch forward. This is a new era of governing. and we all Nigeria ready to move forward. And if you northerners don't want to move with us, you can go your own separate way. All what you know is how to pack money whenever you are in government. Leave Tinubu alone.
Why is the northern leaders so much bitter with the tax reform bill? Is it that you people cannot make use of the available resources in your states and generate money and make more money for the states? Why are you people so bitter? You understand? This is crazy.
This is a direct message to people from Southwest. They have been calling us Northerners all sort of foul names, that we are parasites, that we are useless, that they are going to teach us a lesson 2027, that even if Tinubu excelled to become the next president of Nigeria, that they are going to bring somebody from South, not the North. Maybe they have baby mentality. They don't know the North. They don't know our history. One state in northern Nigeria is equivalent to the whole of Southwest. My lecturer once told me something. My Calabar lecturer once told me something. He said, never ever in your life trust a Yoruba land. He said, if a Yoruba man shake your hand, he mean maybe or no. While in your heart, he mean yes. While in his heart, he mean no. He said, if a Yoruba man nod his head, he mean no. They are hypocrite in nature. He said, never ever trust a Yoruba man. Our northern brothers, they make a great mistake. Me personally, I did not vote for Tinubu because I already know the nature of Yoruba. They are hypocrites. They behave like chameleons. And once they hijack power, their true color will prevail. And we have seen what Tinubu is doing, what Tinubu is trying to do regarding the tax reforms. The governor of Bauchi, Bala Mohammed, has warned President Bola Tinubu that his reform policy is anti-northern Nigeria, that we are going to teach him a lesson. This is not oligarchy. You understand? If he insisted that he is arrogant, that he insisted that the tax reform must come to stay, we are going to teach him a lesson 2027. He's going to lose election. His state where he come from, Osun State and Lagos State, did not vote for him 2023 election. He did not win. He did not win election in Osun and Lagos State. Did not voted for him. Me personally, I did not vote for him. And this fight did not voted for him. He only got 8.4 million. This fight, four people came from the north. He did not even get a massive vote. You understand? Let me assure you, people from Southwest, that we are going to teach you a lesson. This is your hypocrite nature. We are going to teach you a lesson. You are going to lose election. And once a Yoruba man lost election, a Yoruba man will never ever rule this country. Even thinking of becoming a vice. Let me tell you, we are going to teach this Yoruba, this direct message to Yoruba land. Once Tinubu lost election, no any Yoruba man will ever click to power again. This is a message to you because we have already identified your hypocrite nature. My father told me, he said, never, my Calabar lecturer told me, never ever trust a Yoruba man because they have hypocrite nature. They have what they say and what they mean are two different things. Never ever trust them. They are hypocrite people in nature. This is a direct message to you. I'm just warning you, Yoruba people, that calling us all sort of names, insulting us on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook will not make you to become a president 2027. Tinubu is OTP, one-time president, period, inshallah.
Revenue bill as submitted to the National Assembly cannot stand the test of time because the revenue bill has gone contrary to some provisions of the Constitution. it is within the province of the federal government or any state government or local government to create an idea of expanding its revenue base. But the sharing of the revenue is not the responsibility of the federal government nor that of the National Assembly.
Okay.
It is of the National Assembly to the extent that when they look at the sharing, they will have to change the constitution by going round so that they remove the authority of the revenue mobilization from that province. That has not been done. And to say, let's do more consultation so that people comment on this matter, I don't think it is a negation or a disrespect or even whatever against the president. It is not. This is our country. If the president presents anything, and we, the people of Nigeria, say no, I'm coming. We, the people of Nigeria, say no. We should be, our views should be respected because the president and the governors and members of the National Assembly are there because we put them there. So they should respect our views. And I want to also say that most governors in Nigeria, not only in the north, are so pissed off because when this bill was being created by Tai Oyedele and his group, that they have never consulted any governor outside Lagos. So for them, it is an ego problem that it is only the views of the governor of Lagos that is in this bill. Whether they will accept this, my view, or not, I want to tell the world that this is the situation.
Alaji, no.
And I can't.
Alaji. The National Economic Committee, the NEC, comprising all the governors of the states, that bill was presented before them. It was also taken to FEC. So there was representation. No, it's not fair to say it's only was it taken to the NEC and discussed with the other governors when this bill was being developed? No, it was taken to NEC. It was taken to.
I say no.
Okay, but it was taken.
Which one is NEC?
National Economic Committee.
What did NEC say when they took it to them? What do they say?
No, there was consultation.
They say withdraw it.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Please, doctor. It's okay, that is your view. And I'm talking to you about the view of other people, including myself, that it has become an ego problem. And even if any governor as an individual tells Mr. President that he's supporting him, let him tell that governor that he's lying. All of them are speaking with one voice. I'm just trying to tell the world what is really on the ground.
See, don't allow anybody to deceive you or confuse you. The executive bill presented to the National Assembly by Mr. President, the tax reform bill, have various components. The most critical one is to examine the redistribution of the revenue generated from value-added tax. That is what is burning, and that is what some components or states in Nigeria disagree with, particularly the states in the northern Nigeria. It is a known fact that Lagos alone consume nearly more than 45% of what is generated as a VAT in Nigeria, and that certainly is unfair. If you look at the southwest, they consume more than 70-something% of what we generate from VAT. Is that fair? The situation is simple. It's the skewed nature of the industries and headquarters are sited more in the western part of Nigeria, an advantage. So the bill, perhaps, if it is properly addressed by the northern Nigerians claim, it will now be the host community or the host states now will enjoy the VAT that is generated within their state. So it should stop allowing somebody to convince you or to deceive you that it's all about VAT from the consumption of beer. It is not only in the southern part of Nigeria or in the southwest that the beer is being consumed. How about the southeast? How about the milk that is produced in the north? Isn't it tax also? Really, the issue is very simple. It's about being fair and justice. And in the federal political system, there is bound to be such debates. So there is a great problem in the methodology of collection of these taxes over in Nigeria, and there is a fundamental problem of redistribution. And this is not only in the revenue generated through the federal inland revenue, it is also the revenue sharing formula in Nigeria generally. If you look at it, the states of Lagos, Port Harcourt, Ondo, Ogun, They are the states that enjoy more from this value-added tax because of the economic activities that are very pronounced in those states. So when you hear Lagos generating more revenue than Kano, it is not about the fact that there is no businesses going on in Kano. It's about the headquarters of these major conglomerate businesses that are in Lagos. That is why today Abuja came and overrun all other states because of that advantage of being the headquarters of Nigeria to enjoy few industry, getting more value-added tax than even Kano, than even Niger states.
These governors who are saying that it will increase the hardship, the governors are responsible for the economic failure, insecurity, chronic unemployment, acute poverty, and educational backwardness in the northern region. The northern leaders of today are not compared. You cannot compare them with the northern leaders of yesterday. When the Mr. President also withdrew the police subsidy, which of the governors in the northern region have complained loudly or cried foul? When the electricity tariff have been increased, which of the governors have cried loudly or complained loudly that the other segment of the country is substanding the northern extraction? So these leaders of today are power drunk, and they are intoxicated by politics, and they only want this money to be allocated to them from the federation account for personal enrichment, not for development of the northern region.
All right.
So most of these states in the northern state are not contributing much, very minimal, on the tax on the VAT collection. Some of the state governors will even deduct VAT from contract, and they will fail to remit to the Federal Revenue Services. Some of the small businesses will deduct taxes in the northern Nigeria without filing their returns and remit to the Federal Revenue Services. So these are some of the loopholes, leakages. And what the governors have did to develop the northern states, what have they done in terms of the economical development? What have they done to fight insecurity, illiteracy? Education is a cornerstone of any development. What have they done to develop the sector to generate this revenue? What have they done to also increase the IGR? Because when they are doing, this money are being shared from the park, there are some parameters, indices that are being taken into consideration: population, land mass, numbers of hospital beds, IGR, markets. So what have they done to improve these markets? What have they done to improve a hospital to attract revenues? What have they done to improve education?
Do their bidding. So you are seeing the expression of anger, the expression of disappointment, and the expression of regret that they help to bring this government to power, but that the government is not doing their bidding. So that is the context in which you hear northern elders regretting the government or supporting the government of or supporting Tinubu to become the president. But remember, this Northern Elders group is just an amorphous group. It's not representative. It is just more or less self-appointed people who come together in that association and call themselves Northern Elders. There are a lot of groups in the North. Those Northern Elders do not speak for the North.
Sitting under their powers, every recommendation they make is advisory. There is no conclusion or resolution of the National Economic Council that binds the president. Just like the way special advisor will advise the president. And your duty stops when the advice is given. He must not follow your advice, that you make available your opinion regarding a matter.
So when we don't understand that, that's where we begin to have a problem, where you have manipulation. The Economic Council consisting of the governors, how many governors do we have in Nigeria? There are 36, right? Probably if you add the FCT minister, there are 37. How many population of Nigerians do we have? Over 220 million.
But these are representatives of the people, right?
Yes, but we have seen also how states are governed, with laws and bills that are antithetical to the people, and without mentioning a particular state. For example, I can give you an example of a state that I know in Nigeria that collect heavy tax on keke nape people. And the tax they collect from the people, if you subtract it from what the people earn, it is more or less like you're working as a slave. What's the difference between that taxation and the fears that you have about the tax system at the federal level?
Yeah, you are correct. Okay, it's advisory. The president doesn't have to take the advice. However, for something such as this, this is one of the, big policies that would make a big impact on the country. So right. You want to see the president as being someone that listens. And the tax reform bill is an executive bill, and the vice president presided over the NEC meeting that requested it be withdrawn. Will you then say that the president and the vice president are not on the same page? Because
really.
There's also...
So you can preside over a meeting that will arrive at a conclusion, and it is not suggestive that you led the resolution. Of course, if you study corporate governance, you know that board meetings and resolution are arrived at by popular votes. When majority of the people agree to go this way, even you who is presiding, if you're going the other way, it means you have to follow the majority. So it would be wrong to conclude that because the council or the advisory council met and they arrived at something, that it is suggestive that the vice president made them arrive at that. That's one. Number two, Section 5 of the Constitution says the executive powers of the Federation lies in the president. The entire executive powers, which is executing the laws of Nigeria and administering the government of the Federation. But in that Section 5, it says he exercised that power either by himself or through the vice president or to the ministers of the government of the Federation or other officers. So the power lies in him. And he can tell you, do it for me, this other one, do it, right? That's one side. The second side, and which is the argument of the president, is don't throw the baby with the bad water. So the conclusion of the council is suggestive of throw the baby with the bad water, because they said withdraw it for consultation. No, it should have been this bill should now be subjected to deliberation. So the president's reaction to that is he said, no, take it to the National Assembly. Our own side as executive is to sponsor a bill. But the law recognizes a body in Nigeria that deliberate and they make the laws. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we will arrive at that.
%80 of our population actually don't earn up to ₦1 million annually. So if you exempt that section of the population from paying tax, that is massive.
All right. Let me go to Baba Yusuf. Thank you so very much. You look like you are representing the young demography of the nation. So we have a balanced distribution of panelists. Mr. Baba Yusuf is the Group CEO, Global Investment and Trade Company. I also saw one of your intervention, which made me to call you.
Thank you.
So can you give us an understanding? Are you agreeing with Chibuzo in his own, he says that it's a good bill. Anything you see that is controversial?
Thank you very much, Sheun. It's good to be here. Today is a landmark day for Nigeria. I want to say straight ahead that this reform is one of the best reform that has been undertaken by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And by the way, for the purpose of disclosure, I'm a northerner, I'm a Muslim, I'm from Kano State. I want to commend the Presidential Committee, represented here by the Chairman, Mr. Oyedele, for doing an excellent job. And I'll tell you why, my fellow Northern Nigerians. I would like to refer us, because I got a bit worried, Sheun, when I saw the reactions of political leaders and other interested parties from Northern Nigeria, and it triggered me to have to speak to our people on my podcast Reflections with Baba Yusuf on a topic called Dear Northern Nigeria, What have we done to ourselves? This is not the first time, but it's becoming a cyclical reaction that I think will not take us anywhere as a people. This reform, I dare say, as a Nigerian, as a patriot, and for those that know me, know that when I speak, I shoot straight. The northern Nigeria will be one of the best beneficiaries of this reform. This reform is a reform of balance. It's a reform that speaks to equity. It's a reform that speaks to data and has provided a platform for improvement going forward. And I'll speak to 4 critical points out of this bill, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, I will take it up from what my co-panelists mentioned about the multidimensionally poor Nigerians, over 133 according to MBS last year, over 133 million, out of which over 70% are from Core North, right? And we have also heard from Chairman of the Presidential Committee highlighting those that are exempted from tax. And to that extent, I agree with my panelists that about 90% of the vulnerables will be exempted from this tax. So as a northerner, where about 70% of the multidimensionally poor are resident and surviving and struggling under the vagaries of socio-economic headwinds, it should be pleasing to our leaders that where we have failed at subnationals, there is federal intervention to provide that which have not been provided by state governors. Secondly, I also noted in the bill the contentious issues of VAT. And mine is very simple. I am a strong proponent, surprisingly to a lot of northerners, of allocation by derivation or allocation by consumption. Why? Because this rent-seeking transactional commission collection style of leadership will continue making people lazy and will make us complacent and forget the principles of leadership. The 3 cardinals of principles of leadership, fellow Nigerians, are value creation, value innovation, and value protection. And to my mind, this kind of reforms are the kind of reforms that will ease out politicians that go into power for the purpose of rent-seeking and commission collection. And if the argument is, without conceding, that this tax reform will reduce the inflow of the monthly allocation, whereby governors go cap in hand monthly to collect this as the only means of survival to the extent will not pay salary, I worry then to ask myself, why do people aspire to become leaders if they cannot create value, if they cannot innovate? Indeed, some of the states in Nigeria are even bigger than some countries around the world who are thriving. Why? Because they create the value, they innovate, and they protect the value. So, if you look at the VAT, what has been done with this VAT is that the derivation, allocation by derivation or consumption, however we want to presupposes that for the site in Sokoto where BUA is extracting Sokoto and doing Sokoto cement, for example, whereby the current policy says the headquarters of BUA is in Lagos and almost the entire VAT goes to the headquarters. Now it's telling us that a chunk of that is going back to Sokoto, not all of it going to Lagos. Is that a value addition? In my own just simple arithmetic, the people of Sokoto should be clapping and singing to the high heavens that now they have an opportunity for them to add value. The same thing with my state, Kano. If you look at the subscription, MBS listed subscription of like the MTN subscribers for last year. Lagos, 26 million subscribers as of Q1 last year. Ogun State was next with 13 million, over 13 million. Kano, listen to this, over 12 million. Of course, Bayelsa 1.6 and Ebonyi 1.6. What this new reform is telling us, my dear brothers and sisters in the north, is MTN will now not pay VAT only to Lagos. It means these 12 million subscribers will be accounted for and prorated and be sent back to Kano, for example. Whereas, as it is today, almost all the states lose to Lagos, just as an instance. And you can go on and on with these instances. Right. I think one of the problems is